shortages in teachers or in staff. What would you like to say to parents who are getting their children up right now, getting ready for school, about making sure there is an adult in every classroom when they come into school this morning?
That's right. So we've worked so hard on that the entire summer. Of course, across the state and the nation, seems like every industry is facing staffing shortages. But regardless of the shortages, we're definitely committed to ensuring that all students have an amazing experience. And the way that shows up at each individual school is different. Our district leaders, Dr. Balknight, my deputy, and Mr. Carson have worked very closely with our principals to make sure that they have a plan that's unique to their school. I reviewed those plans over the weekend, and we're just ready to go.
So, Dr. Hill, can I ask you, the Express Stops plan, we've talked a lot about it. Today is the actual first day to put it into works. Can you speak to the families that are still trying to figure out that routine, specifically the afternoon drop-off, and what the district wants those parents to do?
Sure. So we've had the opportunity to run express stops actually for the last couple of weeks because our middle colleges and early colleges have been here. So we've already had an intro to how it works, our timing and all of that. My daughter actually is on an express stop, and so we've just had a great experience. As far as today is concerned, we are prepared. We have staff at the central office who will be out this morning and this afternoon at our express stops. They'll be prepared with all of the information when parents arrive with any questions that they may have, and we'll do that for the better half of this week. So we're ready to go with that.
There are always first day of school hiccups, kids getting on the wrong buses, things just happen that they're going to happen. So what are some of those first day hiccups that parents might be able to expect, and how should they respond to it?
Well, this is my 26th year of first day of school, and there's always a hiccup. I would say in my experience, the number one thing is students falling asleep on the bus. And so, they're used to being at home over the summer. They get on the bus, they fall asleep. Our bus drivers have been trained, though, to get up, walk the bus, sweep the bus to make sure that all the students are ready. I think the main thing is when your kids get home today, they're going to be exhausted. So just make sure that when they come home, that you talk to them a lot, ask them about their first day of school. I think it's really important for parents to engage with their children every afternoon, but just make sure that they get them in the bed early tonight. Starting first day of school on a Monday is really tough because it's going to be a long week. So I would just say be prepared for your kids to be wiped out and let them get in the bed so they have a great rest of the week.
And I know right now inflation is crazy for everybody, but especially for teachers. You guys last year upped some of that local supplement and everything. But what is the district kind of doing on more of that state level of pushing state legislatures to make sure that teachers are getting paid enough to be able to live in these areas?
Yeah, so teacher pay continues to be on our board's legislative agenda. It's top of mind for every superintendent in the state. It's extremely important. Teaching is an extremely tough job, and in 2023 it's tougher than it's ever been. So it's really important that we take value in our teachers and really put our money where our mouth is. A lot of people have things to say about educators, but they have one of the toughest jobs. They're taking care of our children, my children, and they need to be compensated. So we are continually working on that. We actually have some things in the works that I'm not going to share right now, but some really cool, innovative local things that we're trying to do for teachers right here in Charlotte that we hope to unveil later this school year.
Dr. Hill, can I ask you about this COVID spike that we're seeing play out right now? I'm sure that you all have been discussing that. Do you have kind of a plan in place? Does the district have a plan in place? Should we start to see clusters in schools?
So we have an amazing relationship with Dr. Washington at the health department. Our teams meet on a weekly cadence, and so we're monitoring numbers. We continue to have tests. We've ordered additional tests and have testing available at our schools and at every site. So we're just monitoring it as we normally would, and just keeping our sub pool ready to go. We have our attendance policies. All of that is lined up, and we're facing a much better outlook than we have in the past. So knock on wood, but we were prepared in years past. We'll be prepared this year.
Dr. Hill, I know that you guys have worked really quickly to get ready for the Parents' Bill of Rights. You have the one-stop shop set up on the website already. But how important is it that parents fill out that form before September 11th to make sure they opt in if they want their kids to have reproductive health and ethical learning?
Well, it's extremely important, and thank you for that. We worked really hard to have that up and ready. It was tough to get it turned around, but it's really important that parents go ahead and opt in to any services that we'll be providing, the reproductive health, all of the things. We've pretty much gone opt-in for everything with the exception of our Title IX. I just want to say that loud and clear. Our Title IX is opt-out. And so, but everything else is opt-in. But it's really important that we get that information. We want to be able to provide the services that our children need and provide the education that they need, but we also understand and value and respect the rights of parents. So we just ask that parents go ahead and complete that so we don't have to chase them down to get it done.
And one follow-up there, with people who maybe English isn't their first language, do you worry about people who may not be able to sign up by September 11th? Obviously, we're changing it from opt-out, opt-in. Any worry that there's going to be some confusion and kids are going to kind of get left behind?
No, so we have an amazing team of translators. Anytime we really value the diversity in Charlotte-Mecklenburg Schools. So we work really hard to make sure that our information is translated. Spanish would be the highest spoken language outside of English, and we have a team that's set up, ready to go. And they make calls, contacts, text messages for those students to make sure that they're not left behind.
When are students going to be able to start to check out books? I know you all have a policy in place. Could you explain that policy to those who don't know about it, and what's the next step for students can do in libraries?
Sure. So with the Parents' Bill of Rights, there are some things in the legislation, one of which is we are required now to inform parents of all books that students have checked out. And so we have some of those systems together. There's also some language specifically around K-4. So what we decided to do to mitigate any risk is just to hold off on opening up our media centers to make sure that we have all of our processes in place, because we want to be able to communicate to parents and we don't want there to be any confusion amongst our 184 schools. So we're working really closely with our teams to get those lined up, and it's, people have tried to make it a bigger deal than it really is, but it really is just about us trying to make sure that we have our processes in place and that we're clear and there's no confusion.